when you begin with the Bismillah, and there's a powerful thing about the ba of Bismillah, and those of you who study Arabic, and you should all be studying Arabic, you should all become proficient in Arabic. When I embraced Islam, as was mentioned in the intro, when I became Muslim in 1982 at Purdue University, and I was at the mosque, and I didn't know what an alif was, or a ba was, or a ta was, or an ayn, or ghayn. And I used to give the adhan, and in the little cubby hole where the microphone system was, there was the adhan written there in Arabic and in English and a little transliteration. And I used to think when I read Allahu Akbar that Allahu Akbar, and it was translated Allah is greatest, great. Allah was Allah, who was is, and Akbar was great. But of course there is no is in that sentence. It's a jumla ismiya, it's a nominal sentence. It has a mubtada khabar, it has a predicate and a subject and predicate. So it has Allah as the subject of the sentence, and Akbar, the superlative case of kabara, ism tafdeel, in defining Allah in His azma, in His kibriyat, in His greatness. So there's no is there. I didn't know that then. Now I know. And it may seem like a simple thing, but it's not a simple thing. And to have that knowledge of Arabic and to be able to use it, like the book in front of me, which I may be reading from, this beautiful text on tasawwuf, to be able to read it and read it as I read it, it's like English for me. And to have that from when I was 18 to now when I'm 47, the capacity to change and transform is our birthright as the sons and daughters of Adam. So we begin in Allah's name. We attach, so the ba is the preposition. The Quran begins with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, so you have the ba there. Now the preposition requires you to have a ta'liq. It has to have a connection to a verb or verbal noun. So for example, a very simple sentence in Arabic, Marra bi Zaydin, he walked by Zayd. So Marra, he walked by, bi, preposition Zaydin is the prepositional object here. So he, Marra, he walked by, bi Zayd, past Zayd or along Zayd. So there's a preposition there. So the preposition connects Zayd to the verb Marra. But in the Quran as it begins, there is no, it just begins with ba. There is no ta'liq there. So what's the ta'liq? The ta'liq is eternity. Because you are, the ba has to connect to something. And that ba connects to eternity because it's open-ended there. This is something that you need to understand, is that the sisters asked me upstairs about life, and they're married now, they have kids, and they're not finding the zeal, the excitement of going to lectures and following Shaykh around and going to a lecture in Liverpool or a lecture in Manchester, and Shaykh Yaqubi's coming, and Shaykh Nu's coming, and so-and-so is coming, let's go to this lecture, let's go to that lecture. Now life has become burdensome, they're mothers now, they're no longer fresh 21-year-old women, now they're older, and life has this sort of dryness to it. And like one of the things I said is that a believer never is bored. How can you ever be bored with the law? You can never be bored with the law. So if you're bored, it means you haven't really known the law yet. He creates you, as the Quran says, and I'm not going to love Arabic tonight, there's no sense in burden knowledge of Arabic. He creates you, and He creates what you do. He's behind everything. And so, the idea that simple things, mundane, ordinary things can become sacred. They become sacred by the ba of Bismillah. It's the students begin things with Bismillah. Leaving your home, getting into the car, eating your food. There are various dua, remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, azkar that you do, types of litanies and remembrances. A lot of times Bismillah is so much encouraged, and we could talk about the fada'il, the special status and the unique qualities of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, etc. And you can get a really good examination of that anytime you get a good tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha. But this ba attaches you to something. So you can take simple things in your life and you can make them extraordinary. You can take something which only lasts a moment and make it extend to eternity, because the Bismillah is the indication of your intention, that you are attaching it to God. And since Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not restricted in any way, by attaching it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it has subsistence in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is self-subsisting, He is qayyum, He is self-subsisting. And when you bring yourself to Him, He brings things into permanence. Things go from a state of being fan, or extinct, or effaced, or facing, or from fading away to a state of continuity, of permanence. Allah's al-Baqi, for example. So you are bringing yourself in relationship to that one who is forever, who is eternal. So a simple thing like turning off a light switch and not to waste energy, because Allah doesn't love the musrifun, those who are wasteful. And we live in a time in human history and climate change, the whole issues of climate change I'll bring up in my talk, about issues of being responsible, the custodialship roles that we have, and tasawwuf is a part of helping us to understand these things, that a simple thing like turning off a light switch with the intention to operationalize the concept in the Quran of having no israf or wastefulness can take the simple thing of turning off a light switch, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, and know that is stored for you for eternity. It's transferred to eternity because you've attached it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you can never really see anything from this analogy, from this simple analogy, if you extend it to everything in your life. You can extend it to anything in your life, that it becomes by the Bismillah, by attachment, that by taking it and attaching your activity in the name of Allah, by the secret of Ba, the preposition of Ba, the harf al-jar, the word which pulls you through the activity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the thing becomes projected through eternity. And that's where you will find your good deeds on the Day of Judgment, which were done for His sake, as there for you, because they are brought into a realm of subsistence and existence. They are taking out abstractions to substantive realities. And that means that it goes from just for example, I gave this example this morning in a class we had. In your grave, your good deeds will come to you in the form of a young man, a beautiful young man. But how does a prayer, a fast, a smile as an act of charity, how does picking up a thorn off the pathway to keep you from walking on it, to keep a cat from walking on it, how does making sure your goldfish was fed this morning? Not the simple things you think about. How do these things then move through eternity? Well, if you intentionalize them for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will do that. And so, operationalize that simplicity and then move it to a higher level of the big things you think about, which engage you, especially a young person. And then, how does that then become in the form? How do all these deeds, for the sake of Allah, become a young man in your grave? How does these things take on a form? Not only do they take on a surah, a form, and a corporealization, or become a body, but not only a body, they have consciousness, they speak to you. All your deeds become one voice. I am your good deeds. They become one voice. Well, of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not a big affair at all. Allah can take abstractions, things that are not like solid things like cushions, men sitting on cushions, and move them to higher states of reality. I mean, you were once non-existence. How does,